Rome Odunze, Chicago first round pick, 9th selection. Say what you want. I think it was a hell of a selection. But we're talking about the Chicago Bears and what is going on. Offensive coordinator was stripped, snatched of his duties. And then the head coach was run out of town. He's putting his house up for sale.
It's a nice place.
But guess what, people? The world still turns. The thing I love and what I see with Rome Odunze that is pretty impressive. First of all, he's a rookie. However, he lines up at so many different positions, so many different responsibilities. And that shows the poise and the leadership and the maturity that this young man has. Everybody's talking about how big he is. You hear that story about how he used to get up and work on a farm with his grandpa. I gained a lot more respect to seeing how his roots of hard work, who he is, the intangibles, and to know that what you see is what you get. And you look at his college game, you look at his pro game, and you believe that this young man will continue to grow, improve, and desire and want to hone in his craft. That's part of his DNA, that's part of his family structure. And you can see that's why he's having such a dynamic, impactful rookie year, despite some of the less impactful play calling that has transpired throughout the year and inconsistency of this offense.
Yeah, Steve, that's why I think in the grade of a wide receiver as a rookie situation, I got to give him a C-. And that's not on him. That's what's going on around him in Chicago.
You don't get to pick him.
You don't get to pick the spot. The spot picks you. And you have two different play callers now. You have a new head coach. So you've had two head coaches. Well, I guess Thomas Brown's just like, he keeps like climbing floors, like passing game coordinator, now OC, now head coach. He's just working his way all the way to the top. And
he's a head coach too now?
He's a head coach now. Thomas Brown's a head coach right now.
Shazam. Congratulations.
So he's just working his way up. But from when I talked to one GM, this stood out to me, and I just got to say this line. It was a lot of his issues stem from being a part of a complete shit show on offense the whole year. That's the direct line right there. And I think that is indicative of where the situation that Rome has been a part of, and everybody has been a part of with this offense, when you go through for a rookie quarterback that is learning and playing right away and having to go through everything in a training camp, Steve, where it's getting in and out of the huddle, where it's finding protections and doing all of this that the quarterback at the rookie spot is learning in a new offense. You're learning as much as you can at the receiver spot, but getting the football is a little bit more difficult when all of that stuff is going on around you as well. And so I look at the entire situation that he's a part of. You mentioned the slot. There's some people I talked to that said he might benefit from playing in the slot a little bit more.
You remember coming out of the draft, I said that the mistake that you can do is put him out wide. He's so savvy. The way he runs his routes, I think that benefits him more playing in the slot. You can't waste too much time. And I'm not saying he's a wasted movement guy. He's not. He drops his weight really good. The way he changes up his routes and his tempo. But because he changes up his routes and his tempo, he runs it like an old savvy vet. And because of that throws off the timing, especially when you're outside. That is traditionally more of a slot wide receiver kind of rhythm.
Yeah. Well, listen, you said old savvy vet, Steve. Who's sitting in the slot? The old savvy vet, because I think that's where Keenan can play right now.
Yes.
And so that's why that's not really benefiting Rome in a sense. And that's why it ties into this entire conversation of the situation that he falls in. And one defensive coordinator that's gone against him kind of told me, he's like, he kind of disappears at times. And I'm not entirely sure that's his fault. Like, being able to get him going consistently, I'm not entirely sure that's his fault. That falls from, I was told, just the rhythm of the offense that's lacking. And that trickles down to a young player like Rome Odunze. So this DC was like, when I watched the film, I think he's a great kid. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. But the situation that he has fallen into, all of this stuff trickles down to a young wide receiver trying to go out there and find his spot in an offense that has a couple of veterans in a room that, I'll speak a little bit frankly, it doesn't seem like he's getting a whole lot of help, I'm told, in the room. But I would also say DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, they're trying to learn a new system during offense. Keenan's trying to stay in the league. They got a lot they got on their plate as well, as opposed to being Cooper Kupp and teaching Puka Nacua something that he knows like the back of his hand.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because I was at training camp and me and DJ were talking, and DJ mumbled, "You're going to get me in trouble, you're going to get me in trouble." Because he was using a slip move, and I'm like, bro, we talked about this. We don't use a slip. You're going to get me in trouble. His wide receiver coach is teaching the slip move. I don't like the slip move because it exposes you. It slows you down.
Okay.
The corner pauses, gets to ride you and use your momentum. And that's why I don't particularly like that. I like the swim because also, too, now you're front facing your corner. So now you get to see the corner, but you also get to work, you get to see his hips. How is he positioned? Is he quick jamming? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? So what I say, I like to look at my victim in the eye before I take his soul, right? Ooh. I don't want to come up from behind you. I want to see you face to face.
Yeah.
And so by seeing you face to face, that allows me to see how you respond, how you react. Do you blink your eyes? Do you sweat? But route running, I give him a C for Rome because of the situation of the timing, or I should say the lack of timing because of the off-schedule throws that Caleb Williams prefers to do instead of the timing route. Catching, A+. Potential, I'll give him a B.
The other grade, and I want your opinion on this, is I'm going to say star factor, early projection. I would give him a C.
Yes.
Like, this is a top 10 pick that we see a lot of potential in for sure. And the reason I say this is talking to one wide receiver coach that did a ton of work on him coming out and has been following him a bunch this season. This part kind of stood out to me. And again, this could be part of the offense as well. Could be part of a young quarterback as well. And obviously the Bears are looking for these two, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, to grow together, essentially. Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing rookie year of them together could be very different than what we're seeing year 3-4 together. I mean, just could almost be night and day. But what he said is, I wish, as much work as I've done on him, there's not a single trait in this game I've seen gotten better this year from the start of what I've watched. And so he said, I'm disappointed in that because I think he's a great player. I think that was the point that this receiver coach is making. Like, I have high expectations on him. I'm curious about everything that's gone on there, if that's hindered this, but I haven't seen an aspect of his game really, really grow as the year's gone on. I'm curious what you think about that take.
I think that's nitpicking, but I also believe you rarely see a guy improve dramatically throughout the season.
Okay.
Especially out of a rookie. Here's why. That's where the offseason goes. During the season, you don't really have you don't have a ton of time because you can't work backwards. Every week it's a new game plan. There's a new defender. So you can work on it mentally. So you'll work on getting in and out of your break. Mm-hmm. But get in and out of your break on the out route one week and then get in and out of your break on the in route. That's two different motions. Mm-hmm. But dropping your weight good, that's where you need to go. Now, the little nuances of not giving away what you're doing on the in and out route, you got to work on that in the offseason to be able to go, okay, where's your right foot? Where's your left foot? How's your arm? How'd you release? Did you go inside? Did you go outside? Was it cover 2? Was it cover 3? Was it 3 press? Was it 3 bail? Was he funneling you inside? When you went inside versus cover 2, did you try to get back outside because you had to time up and allow Keenan Allen in the wake of his route because he's running out there? Were you a clear route? So there's a lot of little nuances that you don't get to work on during the season because every week there's the staple of plays,
yes,
but then there's new plays or additions or little nuances,
little wrinkles
of
to
the
it.
Same route, wrinkles based on 3x1, 2x1, bunch, cluster, buster, yig, zig, zag, yak, yakking across the formation, yigging into the formation, bursting out to the formation, condensing in, shifting. So all of those things, right? Cat means corner today, come back next week. So you can't really get comfortable because some of the stuff is changing week by week.
I get it. Are you going to get into some film here for us?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's get into some film. I like that. You know, I can talk ball all day.
Here's the deal, people. All season long, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Only on Underdog. Pick higher or lower on your favorite player, and you can join the millions of fans winning millions this season. Sign up today using promo code UD89, and you'll get a free pick as part of your first cash entry, plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Again, promo code UD89 to cash in on every touchdown this season, only on Underdog.
All right, against the Los Angeles Rams. Down here at the bottom, going against Tre'Davious White. They're running zone coverage. He does a great job of moving the corner off his step. Look, takes a backward step, but it works. Watch. It's a weight transfer. See his front leg, how he goes backwards?
Yep.
And look what Tre'Davious White does just with this step. You see that right foot takes a stutter step outside the framework, inside leg takes a false step. Tre'Davious, when he turns and gets cattywampus,
I love that word.
he has to get his body back even. And what does he have to do? He has to grab. Good route. That works against Tre'Davious White. You know who that doesn't work against? Darrelle Revis.
Darrelle Revis now, you think? You think it would work against Darrelle Revis right now?
Still won't, because I'll still be running a route and he'll still lock me down. So no, because even at 45, we're still doing the same thing.
Right.
You want to know what I like about this route?
I do want to know.
This shows he does not deserve to be outside. He needs to be inside. I can tell you when he won this route. He wins this route about the 37-yard line before he gets to the 40. See, he already has him beat. But now, if he's in the slot, he can win that route. But he's out wide. He's not going to win that route. He doesn't have that long speed. And so you can see as he's starting to sputter out, or he starts to lose a little bit of his G-forces, he allows Tre'Davious White to slow down and be able to pick him, and then he grabs him. Now he opens up the window, which basically means you give the corner the ability to kind of slingshot themselves through, and now it's going to be a contested catch, or it's going to be a pass where now you got to box out the corner, and that's not what you really want to do.
Steve, you can see where White kind of gathers himself and almost becomes aggressive after you said he already won it.
Because he's
he knows.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. This route I showed you, he is a more intermediate route runner that's remarkable. Plus 20 kind of routes, got to be a go, but it can't be a route where he's breaking down and coming back to the ball. I don't think his game today, right now, that's not his game. Will and can it be? Absolutely.
So let me ask you this, Steve. When you keep talking about inside, could he be like Chris Godwin? Could this be a...
I think he can impact this offense like that, yeah. Which means get on your horse. Mm-hmm. Don't be fooling around. You mess around and mess around.
Find out.
And find out. I like him. He can play, bro. All right, next play. That's bread and butter right there. Gives him, look, ooh. What'd I say, bro? What did I tell you? Look at the patience. That's a PI. I hope they call it a penalty. What are these dudes looking at? Where's the code book at? Let me read the code. Where it says, a pass interference means that you must impede the receiver from catching the pass. Now, y'all think this ain't nothing in here. I'm just being fool. This is just a plain notebook. I just want to emphasize that I know the game, know the rules. Just the Tennessee Titans. You got 3-by-1 motion. Let them know. Okay, zone coverage. Well, actually, It was man. They were trying to disguise it. You got to make that catch, though. This is what I mean. Gives an indicator step, does a good job, settles in. The ball was a little bit behind him, but he has to know that defender's coming to hit the ball. He just got to snatch it. Pluckability, right? Pluck, snatch. Good job by that defender of hitting the ball loose. This is one of the things that you don't see by a lot of receivers that I talk about. I love watching a receiver look in the eyes of the corner, because that settles and makes the corner stop and go, oh, is he coming my way? And then he goes forward. Look at the corner. Look at his left leg, his knee. See how he jerks it? And then he has to like re-step. People don't understand. Go back. Look at that little before he does it. Just that little step of, all right, I'm outside my framework. My joints, ACPC and LCL says you can't plant if we're not in a good position to plant. And your body will fix itself whether you like it or not.
That's a physiology class now, yeah.
That's a good route, bro. I'm telling you. These are so little small nuances of watching, and those small nuances tell me, does the receiver know what they're doing? The whole flop, kind of throws his body in a way. That's
what are you
smart.
talking about?
Yeah, why didn't it was in my way? What? It was in my way. Why do I sound like the gingerbread man off Shrek?
Yeah, it certainly did.
So final grade for me has to be a C- just because there are some things about his game that he will improve, he will play through. But then there are some parts of this offense that does not have anything to do with him. And what this organization will do to help him and assist him in his route game will be on them. He doesn't get to choose offensive coordinator. He's just trying to figure out how to play in the National Football League. So that's why I have to give him a C. But you can also understand, C is passing and understanding that this is out of his control.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also, I mean, now he's going to go through this offseason. Steve, you mentioned everything that he has to work on, and that's what every player's doing. It's not like just it's only something Rome's doing, but like all the little intricacies of routes that you're breaking down the film that he has to go through. But to me, I'm also going, okay, and then also I got a new playbook again. And so there's the compounded aspect of that my quarterback is now learning another playbook again.
Preach.
And so every situation is different, but Rome, everybody I talked to around the league, he's a world of him. I think he's going to be a really good player. It's just where he's at right now. You mentioned it, Steve. A lot of things he's going to have to work on his own to get better individually in the situation he just can only deal with and hope it gets better around him.